Hello everyone! It's wonderful to see you again. I apologize I haven't been around a ton lately. There's been a lot of things going on, from family moving houses to having to just take care of a lot of real life things, and friends visiting from out of town very unexpectedly, and just taxes and just a lot of stuff. But I'm here just in time. So today, as I'm sure you figured out by the thumbnail and the title and everything, we're going to be watching and reacting to, and I'm very excited for the trailer for Thrones of Decay, which is probably one of the most anticipated DLCs, I think, for Total War Warhammer. At least it feels that way. Part of me always feels like that's always the case, but it's been such a beatdown the last few months of just clawing our way towards this DLC release. I really hope it's going to be something very special. There are, of course, tons of predictions and all sorts of other stuff going on. If you want to see my predictions, there are some old playlists you can go watch that I think are just labeled like Thrones of Decay predictions or something like that, but I'll link to them down below if you want to go watch them to compare how my predictions ended up doing against the genuine article. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and hop into this trailer, and then we'll talk a little bit afterwards. So here we go. I'm just going to let it play through without stopping the first time. Now we got Elspeth. I know that throne anywhere. And she looks gorgeous. All right, nice, cool, purple sun, very cool, very cool, very cool. I'm digging the music. Oh, there's Bruckner and his very unique demi-grip. Oh, plague ogres. Okay, we got plague ogres. Engineer hero. Oh, Tamurkhan! Okay, so we got his ogre. Wow, those look like walking snipes. Malakai Makaisson? What? We got cultivating Felix. There's some new. Oh, that's very hard. It looks so good. Oh, dwarfs singing? Zoom! Oh my! Oh, the goblin viewer! Epidemius! Oh my boy! Yeah, the Marienburg land ships, of course. Gotta have the Marienburg land ships. Oh my, look at the Air Force. Ooh. Ooh, I really enjoyed the music of this trailer. The dwarf singing is so good. All right, so here we go. We've got Elspeth von Draken on her Carmine Dragon. We've got good old, oh my gosh, Tamurkhan with his toad dragon, Bubelos. And then we've got Malakai Makaisson. So this is an interesting choice. I don't think it's a terrible choice by any means. He's got just like the goblin hero sitting behind him. Oh look, you got a thunder barge back there as well. It's interesting. When this DLC originally got announced, I was really set on the idea of, okay, they have to do either like Joseph Bugman or like, here, I'm gonna turn the sound down but just kind of let it play in the background, but it's like, oh, they've got to do like Joseph Bugman, or they got to do Grim Berlikson, right? Like they've got that's what they got to do, because Malakai Makaisson, like, he's such a minor character in the grand scheme of things, and he is, you know, he's not really like the kind of guy that would lead armies, yada 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 yada. I felt really strong about that opinion for a while, but I don't hate it. And the main reason I'm saying that I don't hate it is because I feel like, based on what I've seen in this trailer, it really seems like a lot of the units and the ideas that we're getting are coming from the Storm of Chaos dwarf roster. Which, because I mean, look at these guys, right? So you've got another Slayer here with a, what is that, a triple mohawk. I will say, I love this scene because this makes me think so much of the Siege of Nuln. The Siege of Prague. This is quite literally the Siege of Prague. It's just been moved to Nuln to kind of just add Malakai in. Which, for those unaware, and you're like, what is he rambling about? So in the Storm of Chaos, if I get my book, which is over here. 1 second. Hold on. I gotta grab it. Where'd it go? Where's my book? Ah! I need my book. Oh no. Bretonia, Old World. There it is. Storm of Chaos. So, looking at the Storm of Chaos, because the Dwarfs were kind of like an add-on, right? Like, when I look at this DLC, I really am getting the feeling of, oh, it's really just Tamurkhan, the book, plus Dwarfs. Like, the Dwarfs are just kind of inserted into it. But, if you consider the fact that the Storm of Chaos, you know, technically didn't happen in this world, right? The Storm of Chaos is kind of a retconned event. It was the first attempt at the end times, and Games Workshop sort of, like, stuffed it into a corner. It was like, oh, no, that didn't happen. But a lot of the ideas and characters that are introduced into it all made it into the main setting after the retcon. And Malakai Makaisson is actually a really relevant character in this book because he's one of the major characters for the Dwarf faction, which is the Slayer army of Karakadrin. Which the big things that it introduced that we don't have in the game are Malakai Makaisson, Garagrim Iron Fist, the Goblin Hewer. You get your dragon, your demon slayers, and you get your slayer doom seekers. Those are all kind of the really big things. But they also introduced rules for, like, the units you could take were, you could take the Brotherhood of Grimnir, which were just like super fancy slayers on cocaine. Your troll slayers, your demon slayers, your dragon slayers, your doom seekers, long drawn slayer pirates, the goblin hewer. And then, of course, taking the Thunder Barge idea, because Malakai Makaisson has a big airship, the Spirit of Grugni, which he uses in the Gotrek and Felix series. And here it looks like we can see it. So one of the things I'm curious about is if there is... So Malakai looks pretty much very similar to his tabletop model. Oh, is that... Hold on. I think that's Garagrim. I think that's Ungrim's son right there. Because if you look at the art... Hold on. I'm trying to get a better look at him. Yeah, okay. I think that's Garagrim. Because Garagrim is also in this roster, and Garagrim has a triple mohawk. It's very... here, I can actually, like, kind of hold it up. Ooh, this side. If you can see it, if maybe I go to this page. So, that's Garagrim. He's really silly looking. He's got 2 big axes, he's got kind of chains on his wrists, and he's got a triple mohawk. But obviously he's kind of designed in like the old version of the minis, which dwarfs back then did not look very good in my opinion, because they were basically just hands and feet sticking out of a beard. This guy looks like an interpretation of that. I think I can even see the chains on his bracers. So I'm pretty sure that's Garagrim. Because it looks like we see all of the legendary heroes in this trailer. Because you've got Gotrek and Felix, you've got Garagrim Iron Fist there, so you've got Ungrim's son, and then you have, when the Nurgle guys are rushing in, you've got Kazakh the Befouled and Epidemius. So with their announcements, that means we're looking at Tamurkhan Legendary Lord with Epidemius as a free LC Legendary Lord, because they said that the character is not going to be a Legendary Hero, it's going to be another Legendary Lord. And then we're getting Kazakh the Befouled as his Legendary Hero, which is his Rotbeast Knight, which we'll talk about those in more detail in a second. And then we've got Malakai with the with Garrigan Ironfist, and then you got Theodore Bruckner and Elspeth von Draken. So that's our list of characters, which is fucking awesome. I'm super pleased with that. What's interesting here is you can see these Thunder Barges have a different coloration from this Thunder Barge. So I'm assuming maybe that this one is the Spirit of Grugni, so maybe it's like a Regiment of Renown, or maybe Malakai can take it as a mount or something. And then we've got the regular ones that are blue over here. I will say everything's looking really pretty, like really, really exciting and pretty. So I just want to kind of pop through the trailer, starting with the Dwarfs, and see if I can pick out any new units. Because I did, besides the Thunder Barge and the Goblin Hewer, so that's 2. So there's 3 more. Granted, it looks like it's probably, it looks like this DLC is actually going to be very, very Slayer focused, like almost entirely Slayers with some engineering bits, which is great. I'm totally fine with that. But it's going to make it really hard to tell which units are DLC units because all the Slayers kind of look the same. So it's like, it's really hard to tell apart like a Slayer from like, okay, so that's probably the best image to look at. Like here, when you've got the Goblin Hewer just mowing down Plague Bearers, like, I don't know, some of these may be new. I mean, they kind of all look like regular Slayers to me, but it's certainly possible that, some of the, like, these guys with the face paint look kind of new. They kind of look like those might be Doom Seekers. Maybe. Because interesting is that, let's see, Games Workshop just put out an article amidst all of the genuine garbage they've been doing lately. They put out an article that was about the old dwarf minis, which was pretty cool. And they actually had pretty much all of the old dwarfs from the Storm of Chaos being made available again. So let me pull up that article real quick because I'm curious if it will... I could swear I saw something that looked really similar in that article. Here it is, Dwarf Mountain Holds. Get down to the re-release minis. Yeah. I think those are Doom Seekers. So if I pull this up, here you can see them. So the Doom Seekers have that like face paint. And I think when I look at this, you can see the face paint, and it looks like they might have like chains or something. Or are those just bracers? Like, I'm hoping they got the chain axes. These definitely are not, because they looks like they're just holding regular axes. But maybe, I don't know, maybe there's something a little more going on. Because right now they kind of, like, their axes look fancy. Like, they're kind of gold and stuff. But they're definitely not what I was initially hoping for. But I'll hold my judgment until I see combat animations. But I think that's all I'm going to be able to pick out. I didn't see anything that looked like generic characters. Okay, wait. So if you watch down here, right there, you could see he's got chains. I wish this was on YouTube so I could more properly do frames. But if you look, he's got chains. It's like the Blades of Chaos for Kratos. They've got chains around the bottom of the axes that are looping around their wrists. I don't know if that's going to inform their animations at all, or if they're just going to use them like regular axes, but they do at least have axes attached to chains. Hopefully they'll have really cool animations. But that's everything I can see for the dwarfs. So you have the Doom Seekers, the Thunder Barge, and the Goblin Hewer. I see all of those very clear and plain. And awesome. So if they're just doing the Storm of Chaos roster, The two things that they would still be missing would be Longdrawn Slayer Pirates and the Brotherhood of Grimnir. Those would be the other two, like, missing units. If they just go all Slayer. With like the Thunderbarge and the Goblin Hewer being the exception. But that's awesome. That's super exciting. Seeing the Thunderbarge, like, just the music that plays during this part, where it's like, oh, wait, there's a real good shot of Garrett. His hairstyle is so goofy. Malakai looks fantastic. I love how Malakai looks. But look how good the Thunderbarge look. So you've got like drop bombs. It's got front mounted cannons. It looks like it's got like mines or something. Like these look like maybe they're like big bombs that drop. And then it's covered with thunderers who are just like shooting constantly. So you got like a bunch of thunderers with guns. And it's got like a furnace. It's got an engineer driving it. But I love that there's slayers just drinking in the hold. Oh god, the music during that part is amazing. And then the Goblin Hewer is so goofy. I have trauma with this piece of... Oh, my head's in the way, isn't it? I have trauma with this piece of shit. I hate this thing. As just a complete aside that has nothing to do with the trailer, I will never forget being like... oh god, I must have been like 15 or 14 years old, and I was playing with my Lizardmen, and I had a big block of Temple Guard, like a giant horde of Temple Guard going with a Slon in it that was going towards a Dwarf army, and he had a Goblin Hewer in it, and the way the Goblin Hewer worked was that it did a certain amount of hits based on how deep your ranks were, because it was meant to kill like giant horde units, right? But the problem is that I had a big horde unit of very high value models, so this anti-horde unit is just like, it's just throwing axes really fast, and it obliterated my Temple Guard. Oh, it was awful. It was so much damage. Oh, the suffering. Oh, the pain. Oh god, it was so bad. All right, so basically we're watching the Siege of Nuln, which I love the storytelling of this. So for those that don't know, like the story of Tamurkhan, basically the whole build-up is that Tamurkhan takes this really circuitous route through like the mountain. He goes like down through the Chaos Waste and the Mountains of Morn, and he goes all the way down through the Mountains of Morn, and then he comes back out and attacks the Chaos Dwarfs, where they fight and then make up a little bromance, and then him and Drazwath the Ashen keep going west until they reach the Border Princes, and then they push all the way across the Border Princes until they make it to a very little known pass that takes them through the Black Mountains instead of going through Blackfire Pass, and they go into Wizenland through there, and there's like this big epic siege of a city, but it turns out that Tamurkhan attacked the wrong city. He thought he had attacked Nuln, but it was like this other place. And then there's the big kind of build up to the final battle of Nuln, but the Chaos Dwarfs by that point had abandoned him, and a lot of Tamurkhan's horde was kind of falling apart, and Tamurkhan himself was running into a problem of that the ogre body was like his favorite body. It was no other body compared, and Tamurkhan had stopped doing body jumping, because for those of you that don't know, Tamurkhan is a maggot, a really big maggot, but he's like that's why he's called the Maggot Lord. And if you actually kind of look at Tamurkhan here, you can kind of tell that this isn't really him, right? This is just a corpse. That's why it's kind of rotting away and stuff. This thing, like all the teeth and the big tongue and this big slit, that's Tamurkhan. Because what he does is, if somebody manages to kill his body, like deal enough damage to his body that it's, no longer viable, he basically, as the body like falls over dead and they're like, oh, thank God I killed him, the maggot like breaks free and then leaps at whoever it was that struck him down, and it'll latch on to like your lower face and your neck, and he eats his way into your body, and he basically just eats his way down through your mouth, neck, upper chest area, which is what this big slit is. This big slit is where Tamurkhan ate his way in, and then he basically like turns around and stretches all of his appendages and bits and stuff into your body, and then he can puppet it around. He can control your corpse like a big puppet. And this body was his favorite body because he had never had the power of an ogre before. He had always possessed like humans. So when he was in this body, he refused to leave it because it was so much stronger than any other body. And that level of hubris is what ended up dooming him, because the body started to rot to such a great extent because he wore it for so long that it eventually kind of built up to his big duel with Theodore Bruckner. And the two of them have this big epic fight, and Bruckner kills the Tamurkhan body, which if Tamurkhan had been in a fresh body, he would have easily been able to kill Bruckner. But he wasn't. His body was kind of rotting away, and he was weaker than he should have been. So Bruckner kills Tamurkhan's body, and of course Tamurkhan leaps at him to kill him and take his body. But Elspeth von Draken had prepared for this, and she gave Bruckner a amulet, essentially, that if he died, or if a certain kind of trigger happened, he basically just exploded. It was basically like a nuke, like a small nuclear device made out of amethyst magic that, when triggered, just would immolate him and everything around him in amethyst fire and burn it all to ash. So when Tamurkhan leaps at him to take his body, the amulet goes off, and it instantly kills Tamurkhan and Bruckner, and that is the end of Tamurkhan, and the end of the first Throne of Chaos book, which you could call Tamurkhan the Throne of Chaos, but, you know, Throne of Decay. But unfortunately, it was the first book out of 4, but we never got the other 3 books because the end times happened. But let's see, what's Tamurkhan got coming in behind him? So we definitely have our Rot Beast Knights. We can see the Rot Beast Knights kind of pouring in behind him. We got the Plague Ogres, which the Plague Ogres are an excellent appearance. Their situation was kind of sad because they didn't actually get a profile in Tamurkhan. They had minis you could buy, but they didn't have a profile. They were just kind of there. You just basically ran them as Chaos Ogres of Nurgle, which was kind of boring. So yeah, so we got the Chaos Ogres, I assume the Toad Dragon. So here we have the Rot Beast. It's so nasty. It's nasty. Oh, the poor thing. It's like a dog, lizard, cancer thing. Like, its flesh is all waxy and melted, and it's got like exposed muscles. Oh, look, you got innards hanging out. Whoa, that's actually pretty rare for Creative Assembly to make something that has like internal organs hanging out. Normally, they're really skeevy about that. Because of the rating, but I guess they were able to get away with it because it's like kind of hard to see. But Kazakh looks great. Kazakh, the Befouled, is the lieutenant of Tamurkhan. He was the only kind of like official Rot Beast character. It was basically like, oh, you could upgrade your Chaos Knights to have Rot Beasts, but you kind of had to just kit bash and do whatever stuff. But like Kazakh had an actual design. And then Epidemius, my boy, I'm so excited for Epidemius. I'm so excited for I love Epidemius. I'm not gonna lie, I was really, really worried. I was really, really worried that they were gonna make him a legendary hero, which would have sucked. I would have hated that so much, because I deeply, 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 deeply believe that every monogod faction should get a greater demon character, a lesser demon character, and a mortal character at bare minimum. Like, they should get 3 legendary lords at least. One of them's a greater demon, one of them's a lesser demon, and one of them is a mortal. So for Nurgle, we have that now. You have Kugoth Plaguefather as your greater demon, you have Epidemius as your lesser demon, and then you've got Tamurkhan as your mortal. With Tzeentch, obviously, we've got the Changeling, who's a lesser demon, Kairos Fate Weaver, who's a greater demon, and then we've got a big question mark. Hopefully, I'm really hoping it'll end up being Igrim von Horseman. I don't think there is a single mortal character for Tzeentch as important as Igrim von Horseman is, who would fit that faction, because like he's all about the cult mechanic. He should like take the cult mechanic and make it something crazy. And then, you know, for Khorne, hopefully we'll be looking at like Skarbrand is your greater demon, and then Skulltaker is your lesser demon. And then for the mortal, you know, maybe like Arbal the Undefeated would be fine. And then for Slaanesh, getting Nakari as your greater demon, the Mask as your lesser demon, and then for the mortal, probably Decay, the denied one, would be the best matchup, in my opinion. But I will say, he looks amazing. I love how wobbly his throne is. Like, he's just veering. He looks like someone drunk driving, because the Nurglings are just like, ah, trying to get him into the fight. The Marienburg land ship looks absolutely fantastic. We see a bunch of Demigryph fighters here. The Carmine Dragon looks sick. Elspeth looks amazing. Like, Elspeth had a pretty decent mini, but looking back at a lot of the Tamurkhan sculpts, some of them were better than others. And Elspeth's model was okay. Like, she's gorgeous. Like, I love how busy her model is. Like, she's got like skeletons holding her book up, and you can see like the book's got all these intricate text. She's got the black roses. She's got kind of like her chainmail headdress, and her outfit is just beautiful. The scythe looks amazing. The throne looks amazing. You know, the dragon kind of looks like your standard Total War Warhammer dragon, but just new colors. Just looks incredible. Purple sun's real pretty. I don't see that many new Nurgle things. It definitely, you're definitely not seeing all of the new units, it seems like. Because with the Slayers, or with the Dwarfs, I was only able to pick out 3, and I definitely did not see what I would consider a generic Lord, generic hero. But once again, if it's a Demon Slayer and a Dragon Slayer, which it probably is, considering it seems to be based on the Storm of Chaos roster, I probably could not pick them out anyway. That probably would be very hard to pick out. And then for Nurgle, you know, I'd say we can feel pretty safe that it's the Chaos Lord and the Chaos Sorcerer hero with Nurgle. So those are probably going to be borderline impossible to pick out if they're even in the trailer. But like, we saw the Plague Ogres. Let's see if we can kind of see anything else here. You got Bruckner and all of the... I will say, I love this battle. This is... Honestly, I think this is one of the best trailers that we've seen in a hot minute. Genuinely. Because it's telling a story, like, really, really well, but it's focused around a major battle that has all 3 factions involved. Like, Shadows of Change was fun, but it was very much like the Changeling is just kind of screwing around in 2 other parts of the world, but otherwise they have just nothing to do with each other. Like, Mother Ostankia and Yuan Bo are not related at all in the slightest. You would probably never see the 2 of them in the same part of the world, ever. Those 2 characters will probably never interact. Whereas this, like, you have everybody together participating in a big siege. And it's awesome and it's appropriate because, like, then you get the feeling of Tamurkhan is such an incredible threat that it takes the Dwarfs and the Empire working together side by side to try and hold him off. These look new. So these look like heavily armored guns because they're wearing breastplates. And they have guns. So does this guy. This guy's got a repeater gun. It's not just a little gun, it's a big gun. Granted, that could just be for the trailer, but I doubt it. I imagine this is hopefully something. So I'm thinking could be Nuln Ironsides. Could be the Nuln Ironsides. That was definitely, I think that was one of my prediction units. Just like a really nice, oh look, you can see some more guns over here too. So hopefully these are heavily armored missile infantry with the Nuln Ironsides. That would be kick-ass. Okay, here we've got our Plague Ogres, who look phenomenal. I really love the Plague Ogres. If I'm playing a Ogre campaign, you better bet your butt I'm going to try and befriend a Nurgle faction so I can get these through Alliance recruiting. Yeah, look at these guys. So you've got, like, infantry with repeater guns. So I'm assuming that that's what the Ironsides are going to be, because they've got the repeater guns that the Outriders have. And then we've got this dude who's definitely an engineer. So this is an Empire engineer. Looks like he's got like a sniper, so maybe a Hochland long rifle, and just one-shots that Regiment of Renowned Giant. Ooh, that's a frame. Wow, that is things you see before. Dumb ways to die. Like, could you imagine you're just some guys with a gun and they're like, yeah, go hold the gate against that fucking thing. It's interesting that there's chaos mammoths in this, because like Nurgle does not traditionally get access to it, so I'm not sure if they're trying to like tell a story where it's like, oh look, Tamurkhan's like gathered up all the forces of chaos, so he's got like Norskins with him. I don't know, maybe that'll be kind of a gimmick for him. Yep, fuck that guy in particular. Let's see, what's flooding in behind him? Just plague bearers, plague drones. Oh god, his fate, like, you can tell when Tamurkhan took over the ogre's body, he literally ate his way in right here. So the ogre just doesn't have a lower jaw because Tamurkhan ate it. It's so gross. But that's like the only part of this that's actually Tamurkhan is right here. The teeth, the mouth, and the tongue are the actual maggot. Everything else is just a corpse. So here you got the regular Rotbeast Knights, which is nice. So that's going to be the high-tier Nurgle warrior cavalry. So their answer to that. I love Malakai. Look at Malakai's little, like, headgear. It's like, he's got, like, a bulgy, like, binocular that's looking around. Looks like Mad-Eye Moody's eye from, like, the Harry Potter movies. The fact that Gotrek and Felix are in this with Malakai is awesome. Like, it really makes it feel like this is literally from, this basically is saying that, like, oh, this is basically, if you've read Gotrek and Felix, this is just Beast Slayer, but it's in Nuln, and instead of the big bad being Eric Demon Claw, it's Tamurkhan. Which, I mean, spoilers for anyone watching this trailer, Tamurkhan's gonna die, just because Gotrek and Felix are here. Like, inevitably, they would be the ones that kill him. Like, this is Gotrek and Felix novel at that point. Tamurkhan is so fucked. Bruckner looks amazing. I love that his demigryph looks unique. If you've never seen the Bruckner tabletop mini, it's really weird looking. Like, I don't think it's a very good sculpt. It's not my favorite. Look at all the, like, the land ships and stuff. Man, this is a busy ass siege. It looks really cool though. But yeah, I fucking love this. I love it. I love it. I love it. It nothing in it I would say is like, wow, this is like so unexpected and a huge surprise necessarily. But I think that's a good thing. Like, to me, this feels very much like, oh my god, I'm getting everything I wanted. As opposed to like, wow, I never would have thought of that. Which I think is right. I think that's Creative Assembly hitting the anvil right where it needs to, like the sweet spot, striking where it's hot. Of now is the time to really dig their claws into wish fulfillment, and fan fulfillment, and really giving everybody what they want to see, what they've been wishing for and hoping for. I can only hope that the gameplay for these guys is all going to be fucking amazing. I really, 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 really am hoping that CA is finally stepped up to the plate and they're ready to bring it home. You know, they've got, get the bases loaded and swing for the fences, for a good old baseball analogy. But everything's looking really, really nice. The characters all look beautiful. The scopes look impressive. I'm really excited about the units I've seen so far. Definitely they're keeping a couple things still close to their chest. I'm sure there will be like a Steam post and an article post with some announcements, but I'm going to do that in a separate video. I'm just going to let this be the trailer. Just let this just be the reaction and the fun. Malakai's model looks amazing. I really hope he has a goofy voice. Like, not goofy, but he should be very unique compared to all the other dwarfs when it comes to his accent. So I hope they lean into that. But everything here looks amazing. Oh god, I don't know who I'm gonna play. Like, Nurgle and Dwarfs are two of my favorite factions. Like, I love the Empire, don't get me wrong, but the Empire is definitely kind of like, they tend to be a little like, yeah, the Empire, you know, they're kind of the main thoroughfare. So they're not quite as exotic, but very excited for this. I don't see a release date on this trailer yet. To my understanding, it is going to be sometime in April. Later in April. I think CA generally likes to do the thing where they're like, we're going to release it in this month. And then they wait until like you know, it's technically in that month, but it's really close to the end of it. So I that's what I'm kind of expecting here, because, you know, with 3 characters, I suspect it's probably going to be about 3 weeks of build up. Probably like 1 week for each faction to really like show off all the new units and all that stuff. But I can't wait to get my hands on it. I can't wait to start like delving in and like, you know, hanging out with y'all and showing everything. We're going to be doing lots and lots of streams. I'm going to be trying to be better about not only streaming, but doing some maybe episodic series as well, and some videos that are targeted at like specific things. Hopefully there's a lot of really fun updates, and I'm really excited to see the Nemesis Crown, because they did say that the Nemesis Crown was going to be in this as FLC, so I'm super excited to see that mechanic and what it's going to look like. But that's going to be it for me here. I hope y'all had fun, and you're excited. Please let me know how you're feeling about the trailer. Like, is there anything in particular you're super excited about? Of the 3 factions, based on the trailer, who's kind of captured your heart? Yeah, you know, do you like the sexy but dark lady of Elspeth von Draken? Do you like the mukbang horror of Tamurkhan, or do you like the absolute absurdity of Malakai Makaisson? And please do let me know what y'all think down below. I'm really eager to read and respond to y'all's comments and have some a chat down there about everything going on. As I said, I will probably have a second video today that comes out like very quickly after this one, where I will be just chatting about the articles and everything, and then we will do a live stream after that. So please look forward to all of that information, and I'm excited for all that information, and I can't wait for us to dive into this together. I'm having a hell of a time figuring out who I'm going to play first. But the last thing I'll say is, if you really love like kind of these like commentaries and reactions and stuff, and hanging out in the trailers and like really enjoying the catalog of trailers that we've gotten over the years for Creative Assembly, I do just want to do a small plug that over on the Lawhammer channel, Lawhammer, the YouTube channel, me and Andy Law are going to be doing a stream on Wednesday night or Thursday morning, if you're in like very early Thursday morning, if you're in the Europe and stuff, where we're going to go through like the catalog of trailers and kind of like cutscenes and stuff for Total War, and kind of chat about them, and talk about like what we like, what we don't like, when they hit, when they missed, maybe grab some reactions along the way to ones that we either haven't seen in a long time, or maybe like Andy has never seen. So if that sounds interesting to you, I hope you'll consider joining us. But thank you all again so much for watching. It's wonderful to see you all. Once again, I apologize that outside of like Lorebeards, I've kind of been off the radar. Things have just been really busy. But I'm back now, and let's get to work. And yes, for those of you wondering, Queek is coming along actually very nicely. We'll have some big updates on that soon. So keep an ear to the ground. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.